June 6, 1944, Omaha Beach. Lieutenant Alberto, a seasoned soldier in his early 30s, led his squad into the frigid waters of the English Channel. The air was thick with tension, and the salty spray mixed with the acrid smell of gunpowder. Alberto's heart pounded in his chest as he gazed out at the beach ahead, a hellscape of sand and surf, littered with obstacles, and the bodies of fallen soldiers. "Go, go, go!" Alberto shouted, his voice barely audible over the chaos. He could see the German defences looming in the distance, their machine guns barking like angry beasts. Among his squad were Sergeant Jammy, a wiry soldier with a quick wit, Sam, a burly man, and Andrew, the youngest of the group, barely out of his teens. As they waded through the water, bullets whizzed past, some striking the landing craft and sending splinters flying. The chaos of the battlefield was overwhelming. Alberto pushed forward, urging his men to follow. "Keep moving," he yelled, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at his insides. "We need to reach the beach." The soldiers pressed on, their boots sinking into the wet sand as they fought against the waves. The sound of gunfire intensified, and Alberto could see men falling around him, their bodies crumpling under the relentless barrage. He felt a surge of adrenaline as he reached the shore, the solid ground beneath his feet offering a momentary sense of relief. "Get to cover," he shouted, diving behind a tank trap that jutted out of the sand. The others followed, panting and wide-eyed. Sergeant Jammy was the first to speak, his voice shaky. "What now, Lieutenant?" Alberto peered over the edge of the tank trap, scanning the beach. The German bunkers were fortified, their positions well guarded. "We need to take out those machine guns," he said, his mind racing. "If we don't, we'll never get off this beach." Sam nodded, his jaw set in determination. "I'll cover you, Lieutenant. Just give me the signal." "All right," Alberto replied, taking a deep breath. "On my mark, we move." He glanced at Andrew, who was trembling beside him. "Stay close, Private. We'll get through this together." Yes, Lieutenant," Andrew stammered, his eyes wide with fear. "Go!" Alberto shouted, and Sam opened fire, his rifle barking as he laid down suppressive fire. Alberto sprinted from cover, his heart pounding in his chest. He could feel the heat of the bullets whizzing past him, but he focused on the task at hand. He reached the first bunker, crouching low as he approached. The sound of gunfire was deafening, but he could see the German soldiers inside, their faces twisted in concentration as they fired at the advancing troops. With a quick glance back at Sam and Andrew, he took a deep breath and charged forward. "Cover me!" he yelled, throwing himself against the side of the bunker. He could hear Sam's rifle firing behind him, the sound of bullets striking the sand and metal. Alberto reached for a grenade, pulling the pin and tossing it inside the bunker. "Grenade!" he shouted, diving for cover. Explosion, and he felt the heat wash over him. He peeked around the corner, seeing the German soldiers scrambling in confusion. "Let's go!" Alberto shouted, rushing inside. He fired his rifle, taking down 2 soldiers before they could react. The bunker was dimly lit, smoke swirling in the air, and the stench of gunpowder filled his nostrils. As he turned to leave, a German soldier emerged from the shadows, his rifle raised. Alberto saw the glint of metal, and his heart skipped a beat. He tried to raise his rifle, but it was too late. The German soldier fired, and Alberto felt a searing pain in his chest. He stumbled backward, his vision blurring. He saw Sam and Andrew rushing toward him, their faces etched with concern. "Lieutenant!" Sam shouted, grabbing his arm. "No! No! No!" Alberto's vision faded to black, and he felt himself falling. He knew he was dying, but he also knew that his men would make it off the beach. They would survive, and they would win the war. As the darkness closed in, Alberto smiled, a sense of pride and satisfaction washing over him. He had done his duty, and he had given his life for his country. He was at peace. As Alberto felt himself slipping further into the abyss, a profound sense of disorientation enveloped him. The darkness was thick, and suffocating, yet within it, a kaleidoscope of memories began to swirl, each one vying for his attention. Faces, places, and moments from his past flickered like distant stars in a night sky, illuminating the void around him. He saw his childhood home, a modest structure with peeling paint and a creaky porch. He could hear the laughter of his siblings echoing in the air, the warmth of summer days spent playing in the yard. The memory was bittersweet, a reminder of innocence lost. Then came the pivotal moments of his youth, the day he enlisted, filled with a mix of pride and trepidation, the camaraderie forged into...
He remembered the laughter shared over campfires, the quiet moments of reflection, and the promises made to return home. The ache of their absence was palpable, a reminder of the fragility of life. But then, amidst the sorrow, a flicker of hope emerged. He recalled the love he had found, the gentle touch of a hand that had once held his, the warmth of a smile that had brightened his darkest days. He remembered the dreams he had nurtured, the aspirations that had driven him forward, and the moments of triumph that had filled him with purpose. As the memories swirled faster, Alberto felt a sense of urgency. He was not just a soldier. He was a son, a brother, a friend. He had lived, loved, and fought for something greater than himself. The abyss threatened to consume him, but he clung to the essence of who he was, the sum of his experiences. In that moment of clarity, he understood that while he might be disappearing into the void, the impact of his life would resonate beyond the darkness. The bonds he had forged, the sacrifices he had made, and the love he had shared would echo through time, leaving an indelible mark on the world. With a final surge of will, Alberto reached out into the abyss, grasping for the light that had once illuminated his path. As the memories began to fade, he whispered a silent promise to himself. He would not be forgotten. He would carry the weight of his life with him, even into the unknown.